Hello and welcome to our new moon class. I'm Lizzie Lasater. In case you're watching this on YouTube and you're not subscribed to our monthly new moon mail, please check the description below and subscribe there for free full-length yoga classes in your inbox every single new moon. Today we're working with saying no and saying yes, those embodied sensations which are empowering. One of the things we're training when we practice yoga, any of the practices of yoga, asana, pranayama, meditation, restorative, we're training our real-time interoception. That means the in the moment understanding of what's going on inside of our body, not necessarily interpreting those sensations, but sensing those sensations, being present, you could say, with the signals that our physical body is sending to us each and every moment, the thousands and millions of signals that our intelligent body is sending to us. So I consider my yoga practice a playful space for training that skill, paying attention, listening to what my body is telling me. And that's the theme of our class today. The idea of noticing in the real world when I'm off the yoga mat, when I feel no, but I say yes. Or more rarely for me, when I feel yes, but I say no. And getting more attuned to those body answers. You could call them intuition, you could call it the belly brain, you could say it's just your sense of knowing what's right for you on all levels in your life, listening and honoring the internal no, listening to and honoring the internal yes. We're going to do a well-rounded asana practice, not too long, and then a restorative shavasana. Let's move to the mat. I'm at the wall today. We're going to begin with half dog pose. Bring your yoga mat all the way to the wall, pressing the fingertips or the palms into the wall, creating an L shape. The pelvis moves into the center of the room, and the head is heavy. I'm breathing here. My shoulder blades are moving towards the wall, and my pelvis is moving towards the center of the room. And inhale, slowly roll from the pelvis all the way up. Come up to standing. Take a moment in Tadasana. The feet are wide. Outer edges of the feet are parallel to each other. The shoulders are heavy. 5 breaths here. Arriving in the body. Last breath. Once again, bring the fingertips to the wall, press the palm, step back, half dog pose. Really great for tight shoulders, tight hamstrings, tight brain. Feeling slightly a lift, a buoyancy with the inhalation and a softening with the exhalation. Don't hang. If you're more flexible, resist the urge to hang in the shoulder joints. Instead, make yourself long. Move the pelvis towards the center of the room. And come up to standing. Pause for a moment, a breath. Okay. Step the right foot back, turn the heel out slightly, and step the left foot forward, kind of a lunge against the wall. We're working with this back calf muscle. So my back heel is down and I'm shifting my weight forward towards the wall, bending my arms. And now bend the back calf, back knee. And release. Take a couple steps around, just feeling the asymmetry now. And second side. Take the left foot back, heel out. And first bend the front knee, back leg is straight. Breathing into that back. And now bend the back knee. And release. Another couple steps, feeling the reflecting on the effect of the pose. I'm going to get 2 blocks now, and we'll take a dog pose at the wall. Come to your hands and knees. And now drop the head, lift the belly, and press back into dog pose. So the first one, we're just near the wall. We're not using the wall yet. Pressing the palms, letting the shoulder blades move towards the hands and dropping the head. The heels extending back. 3 to 5 breaths here. And release. A big part of this no, yes, intuition, listening to the body is about slowing down. We are so quick now with our phones and our busy lives. The space of the yoga mat, the space of yoga practice is a place to slow down on purpose to the speed of the breath. Let's take dog pose again. Drop the head, drop the brain, lift the belly, descend the heels. This time, lift your right leg up and let it walk up the wall a little bit. I have this little niche here, but you're just going to let your toes walk a little bit up the wall, any amount. And then descend the left heel, the heel. It's still down. Using the resistance of the wall, pressing against the wall with your foot, pressing against the floor with your hands. This kind of friction and pressure and resistance, this feeling of no, of pushing the world away. Drop the head. 3 more breaths. And look forward, step forward. This is why I have the blocks. I love the blocks under the hands in a lunge. So my pelvis is moving down and forward, but I'm resisting with that straight back leg. That back leg, top thigh is pressing up, and the pelvis is pressing down. A couple breaths here. and release. Step back, come back to dog pose. The left leg now floats up the wall. Press the hands into the floor presses back. Use the wall for resistance and descend that back heel. And look forward, step forward. Come onto the blocks. Once again, enjoying that resistance. The pelvis is saying yes, and my back top thigh, the femur bone, is saying no, creating the dynamic resistance within the pose. And release. Okay. So come to hands and knees. Exhale, make a round shape. Few rounds of cat-cow to cleanse the palate. Inhale. Exhale, the palate of the body. Let your whole body come into the pose. Inhale. Sometimes it's as if we practice asana with the body, but we forget about the head and the neck. Let the head and the neck respond to the shape of the pose. One more round. Inhale. And exhale, round shape. And release. Okay, we're gonna do a couple playful plank poses. I have my timer on my watch. I'm gonna do 30 seconds. A couple times, not 30 minutes. Ooh, a couple times we're gonna do 30 seconds. Do what you can, modify. You're in your own body. You're the boss of your own body. This is a very archetypal position for the arms pressing, the core strength behind and the arms pressing and saying no. Okay, so come to a plank. We've already started. 30 seconds here on the clock. Press into the palms, the heel shift back, the belly lifts up. Don't sag in the shoulders or sag in the pelvis. It's actually tucked. Your tailbone is tucked. You're halfway done. 10 seconds. And release. Okay, now we're going to do a side plank with a little bit of rotation with the arm. We'll start on the right side. Come forward. You're going to come onto the side. Let me start the timer for us. And here we go. So my left arm is reaching up and then through. And I'm on the sides of my feet, up and then through. It's like a dynamic side plank. There's some rotation, there's some core work, and always the breath. Five seconds. And release. I would do the second side. My left hand is going to come down here. Let me start our timer. We're on the sides of the feet, lift up the arm, and then we're just rotating through. Ten more seconds. Release. Okay, take an elbow dog pose. So now my hands are interlaced, like a headstand position. The elbows are down. Drop the head, lift the belly, and lift the hips. Take dog pose with the elbows down. The soles of my feet are extending backward. The head is heavy. And the shoulder blades are moving towards the mat, down, towards the yoga mat. 2 more breaths. Okay, so let's do a last 30-second plank of the practice. And come onto the elbows. Shoulders directly over the elbows. Belly coming down. Tailbone is tucked. Just 5 seconds left. And release. Oh, come all the way down onto the belly. Mary Richards, our beloved co-teacher for experiential anatomy and somatic woman, she would love to know that we're doing so many planks today. Come onto your belly, release the feet. Hands come underneath you. Feet are as wide as you like. Press into the feet. The shoulder blades now moving in the opposite direction, down towards the waist, down towards the pelvis. And we lift up for a breath, and we come down for a breath. Long, slow, deep inhalation. Do nothing. Long, slow, deep exhalation. Once again, inhaling, rising up. And exhaling, coming down. Then an empty breath here. Once again, inhale. Shoulder blades move down towards the waist. And we come down. One round of breath. And inhale, lift up. Pause here. Maybe 3 breaths in Cobra. And release, coming down. Press yourself back up to sitting. I like to sit on a block here. I'm going to sit in Virasana. So my feet are back. Sit on a block, sit on a bolster, sit on a chair if this isn't accessible for you. We're going to do a little bit of work with the arms. A few arm variations here. Really nice for the shoulder joints. Be gentle, go slowly. Don't do anything that creates pain. You can do half of the movement or a part of the movement. You may want to have a yoga belt, a strap, or even a scarf to catch if you can't reach the bind. So we're going to begin by opening the arms wide. Exhaling, bring your left elbow on top of your right and wrap. If you also need help catching here, you could hold a small towel or your yoga strap. So the work here is to lift your elbows up and move them forward away from your body, and then to breathe between your shoulder blades. That's where I feel a strong sensation here. And release. Bring the arms wide. Inhale. With an exhalation, bring the right arm over the left. For some reason, when I was thinking about this class, thinking about saying yes, saying no, boundaries came up, and then my mind jumped to binds. These are called binds, what we're doing with our arms right now. The elbows are lifting and moving forward. So it's a little bit of alliteration from boundaries to binds, but we're creating an internal resistance. We're putting the body into a shape that creates a kind of release. And arms down. We're putting the body into a shape that creates a kind of internal dynamism, friction, pressure, bind. And I think that archetypal position, putting our body into that position on the yoga mat when we're practicing, and then returning to the breath and staying with the breath and staying with the sensation, not fleeing with our mind to distraction, to something else, blaming someone, getting upset about the sensation. We're just here with this difficulty, breathing with it. This is the best practice for our real lives off the mat. Let's do one more set. This time we're going to open the arms wide and then draw the left arm up as high as you can. Keep lifting up as you just bend the elbow. And then my right arm, I'm going to turn the palm all the way behind me, but leave the arm quite high as you bring it back around. Keep lifting up, 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 up. And you're going to take a hold of the fingertips behind your back if that's available. Otherwise, you're going to hold a strap. There's a tendency to back bend and bulge the ribs forward here. So invite them to soften towards the normal curves. One, two, three more breaths. And release. Raise the arms wide and maybe up. Okay, second side. So my right hand is lifting up, 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 and I just gently bend the elbow as I'm continuing to lift the elbow up. The shoulder blade is moving up, and then my left arm comes to the side, turn the palm behind me, and I keep lifting it high. Don't come down. Come down at the very last moment you can. Keep everything lifting up. It's going to help you catch the bind. Take hold of the fingertips or the strap, and then notice that tendency to really back bend the front ribs and soften them instead. Breathing into the sensation. And release. Okay, so shrugging the shoulders up and down. And pause. 3 breaths here in stillness. Okay. I'm going to offer handstand, 2 options. Either you can turn around and kick up towards the wall, or you can turn around and put your bum towards the wall and come into a half handstand. So the feet are walking up the wall and the arms are straight and strong. Couple breaths here. Release the back of the neck. And release. Come down. I don't recommend this pose if you're pregnant or menstruating. Drop your head. Those big inversions like handstand are not appropriate. We'll take an Uttanasana and then we'll take one more handstand. What feels good, because if you're right here at the wall, is to let your bum come back towards the wall and drop the head. Maybe take a hold of the elbows. And take the second handstand. Maybe you're taking a second half handstand. Maybe you're ready to turn around and kick up. Maybe you're just doing Uttanasana, the standing forward bend this whole time. Something where your head is deeply below your heart. Picking up, maybe playing with the balance. And Uttanasana, with the head hang heavy. And come down onto your mat. Okay, I'd like to do a supported back bend now. And I'm going to use 2 blocks. So one is on this height and one is on the higher height, like that. This first block comes mid-thoracic, kind of the bra strap line. Yeah. And then I come back, and the other block is on a higher setting. I like to turn the toes in and let the knees come together. There can even be a slight stretch here and across the front of the chest that feels really nice. Soften the chin. And just maybe 10 breaths here in silence. If it's uncomfortable, then change your position. Make the blocks lower, adjust them on your body. Kind of a pre-pranayama, just 10, let's take 10 samavritti breaths, same disturbance. So inhale to 5, exhale to 5, no holding or kumbhakas. Last breath. And exhaling. Transition up to sitting. These back bends, especially supported back bends, have an archetypal quality for me of saying yes, surrender. So the plank is the saying no, the handstand. And then now we're transitioning towards the quieter side of our practice together. Supported back bends, couple supported forward bends, and maybe a restorative inversion and shavasana. I'm going to take just one block here now. Come gently back onto your back, lift your pelvis, and finding the height that works for you. Place the pelvis underneath your sacrum, place the block underneath your sacrum, the back of your pelvis. Adjust your hair and close your eyes. Once again, same project here, 10 breaths. Inhaling to 5, exhaling to 5. When you're ready, lift the pelvis slightly and roll down to the floor. Pausing here for a breath or two. And then I think it feels really good to roll the back of my pelvis on the mat. And in the other direction. Roll to the side. Pick yourself up. All right, let's do a restorative inversion called Viparita Karani, elevated legs up the wall. I'm going to take a bolster under my pelvis, put my legs up the wall, cover my eyes, and we'll stay a few minutes in silence together. This pose is not for you today if you're pregnant or if you're menstruating, if you have any discomfort in the pose, if you have pressure in your sinuses, if you have glaucoma, untreated high blood pressure. Use your common sense. Bolster is here at the wall. You've left some space for your bum between the bolster and the wall. I've taken a yoga blanket and folded it lengthwise here in the center. That's to hold my spine. I've got another blanket here for my feet. I've got something to cover my eyes. This is one of my kids' sleeping dadas that I've stolen. And I have a sandbag because I have a sandbag. I'll show you how to use that when I'm in the pose, and a yoga strap you'll definitely want. So as elegantly as possible, wiggle yourself onto the bolster, roll, and adjust. So you want the pelvis to be a little bit tilting down. It's a back bend, but not too much. It's not a back bend of the thoracic spine, really. It's much more elevating the lumbar spine, the sacrum, the pelvis. I take the strap and wrap it around just below the knees here. It's not really about holding the legs together. It's more about keeping them from falling apart. I'm gonna reverse this. And now I'm gonna take the blanket and put it over my feet. You could also put on socks if you had them nearby. Yeah. This is for warmth and it's also for padding against the wall. So if you have a sandbag, now is the time to put it on top of your feet. And then you lean your heels against the wall. The pressure of the sandbag puts pressure down onto the pelvis against the bolster, and it feels delicious. Okay, you must cover your eyes here. You could use a scarf. You could use an eye bag. Darkness is a very important trigger for the nervous system. Any last adjustments, hair, clothing? I'm going to set a timer for us for 10 minutes, but come out earlier if you feel uncomfortable. This is a space for interoceptive sensing. Stay as closely as possible. Stay as close as possible to your breath and to the sensations inside of your body. Step away now from thought, from feeding thought, from thinking and planning and figuring everything out, so that you have some space to soften down into the body, down into sensation, down into the breath. Inhale your breath. And exhaling, bend your knees. Roll yourself to the side. Press yourself up to sitting. Notice the state of your body-mind right now after that supported inversion. Let's take a supported forward bend now. Take your blanket and fold it. So you're going to sit on the edge of your blanket and tilt your pelvis forward to the corner of your blanket and tilt your pelvis forward. I'm going to put my feet wide into Upavista. And take your bolster. So you can either place the bolster here, rest the forehead on the bolster, or you can place it further down and roll, let the pressure of the bolster come into your body. You might need to take, for example, another blanket and place it on top of your bolster. You have to adjust your props to fit your body. You're not trying to fit your body into a shape, a specific shape. The magic of asana practice is not in fitting our bodies into these shapes. The shapes are not the magic. Let the props help you to find a place where you in your body today can feel supported and held, where you can release and open your back body, where you can say yes. An empowered yes. Also going to set a timer for us. We'll stay 1 minute here, breathing and softening. Relax the shoulder blades. Inhaling. Press yourself up. Last pose before Shavasana, another supported forward bend. I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together now. And I'm going to bow forward in the amount, coming down to some support. Inhale, coming up. Okay, time for Shavasana now. I'm going to move my mat into the center of the room and gather all of my props. Simple variation of Shavasana today. It's called basic relaxation pose. It's pose number 16 in Mama Judith Lasater's book, Restore and Rebalance. I've made a roll for my ankles out of a blanket, so they're floating and supported. Then I've placed a round bolster or a round roll behind my knees. I'm going to cover myself up with a blanket. I've put on socks as well. Of course, at this moment, your phone should be in airplane mode. And if you're practicing with me on the computer, turn off your notifications, close everything that you can. I'm also going to take, before I lie completely down, a blanket here and wrap it around my belly for that extra sense of kind of boundary that we've been talking about today. Come down into your elbows and then just wrap and tuck that blanket in. Feels really nice. And then this blanket comes for the top. Adjust your head support. I'm using a pillow from my couch. Adjust your hair. Cover your eyes. I'm going to set a timer for us for 15 minutes. There will be 15 minutes of silence here in this practice. Nothing is happening. You can't do it wrong. You're simply here listening to the sensations of your body. Giving yourself space and time for interoceptive sensation, sensing, wisdom, to know the difference between yes and no. Open the arms wide, the palms can turn up or on the little finger sides of the hand. Soften the jaw, part the lips, relax the tongue. Shavasana. Inhale the breath. Press your lower back down to the floor. Roll your kneecaps, your toes to look up at the ceiling one by one. Bend your knees. Pause. Roll yourself to the side. Pause. Press yourself up. Thank you so much for your practice today, playing with boundaries and intuition, listening down into that interoceptive space from which comes yes, 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 no. Inhaling the breath, open the palms away from the body. With an exhalation, bring them together in front of the heart. Namaste. And we live like the lotus at home in the muddy water. I'm Lizzie Lasater. I do hope you will subscribe to our new moon mail and you'll get classes like this in your inbox every month. All the links that you need are down below, including the link to my website, my Sunday newsletter that's about rest, everything else that we're doing. Please like, comment, subscribe, all of the YouTube things, and we'll see you next new moon. Have a great month.